Hey, Kyle here. This is part 2 of my overview of Dark Vengeance. I'm going to try to get a video out every day for this, as well as some other videos as well. Because of course, from over here you can see I've been putting some stuff together. So, this is the Dark Angels side of Dark Vengeance. Although a lot of people I've talked to have said that the Dark Angels look, as models, very weak in appearance, in a way, compared to the Chaos. If you compare them side by side, the Chaos take the cake for the best looking models. But even so, when you look at them separately, these models look very good. I actually had a lot of fun putting these guys together. Simply because, once you put them together, the way that they go together is very cool, very unique. The poses for these snap together kits easily transcends not Black, but I was gonna say Black Crusade, but I was like, dope, thinking about something else. Assault on Black Rage. And it's, I was tempted to trade these for the Chaos, basically double up my Chaos, but I just thought, nah, I'll just proxy some of these for Chaos, just to kind of fill in the odds and ends. So I'm going to put you in my little thing here, and I will show you all of them. Now I'm going to move some of these around, and I'm going to show you the Tactical Squad. Now I'm not going to show you every model, I'll just give you an overview real quick. Now the Tactical Squad, although have a lot of new poses, they're not very varied. The only ones that are varied are there are two Beakies in here, which are duplicate models. And then there are two other Space Marine models, three other Space Marine models, two or three other ones that are duplicates. So they're not very varied. They do have a variety of poses, so they're not as they're not like flat standing up like in Assault on Black Reach. I'll put you back in the stand here. Make sure that it's nice and flat. So just adjusting it real quick. There we go. And I'm going to show you the Sergeant. Now the Sergeant he has got a lot of detail. I like the model. It's a little blurry. It's actually focusing quite nicely. Somewhat. And the way he goes together is rather awkward. Well, not really awkward, it's just unique. The head and the arm are one piece, and they're connected through a L-shaped rod that sits in between the back of the body and the front of the body. And it's something I've never seen before. I like the way that it goes together. It gives more detail the way that they separated the pieces. He's actually got a cavity where the neck would be, instead of it just being filled in there, which I give them plus for that. And he's just overall awesome model. And it goes so far that there's no real filled areas. You know how some models have the area that's filled and it's difficult to paint the separation between the two areas? You don't really have that with this model, because it's split apart in a way that there's no real filled-in areas. Mainly because the way it's molded flat, and sometimes when you mold it, they have to put a little area in that's flat and filled, just so that they can make that one part. Kind of kills detail, but the way they did this, I give them a plus. Now for the plasma gunner. The plasma gunner is kind of, hang on, just looking them over real quick. Kind of has that filled area. You see that area there? That's what I'm talking about. That filled area in there. You know, with it being, if it were multi-part, you wouldn't have that issue. But since it's snapped together, you're gonna have that issue. You know, they could have just made the arm a separate piece while leaving this a normal piece, because that doesn't have any filled area in it. Guys, there's no filled area at all. And it would have increased the quality a little bit by that, not by the shoulder and the arm being a piece. Oh, pardon me. But you know, it's not that much more varied than the Ultramarines, but it's still nice to have plasma weapons in the starter set. And now for the plasma cannon. The plasma cannon has a very nice stance. He's got the Crusader looking helmet, and the plasma cannon goes together quite nicely. It's pretty much, as a surprise, it's actually 4 pieces. The gun, the backpack, this arm here, and the body. So it's the most parted piece other than this piece, the Sergeant himself. So therefore you don't have any filled in areas. And therefore makes it a lot easier to paint. But I'm not going to go on about the tactical squad, because really you guys want to get to you want me to get to the good stuff. So I am going to bunch these guys together and move them to the side. These guys, I'm sure a lot of people are wondering about. This is the Terminator squad, equipped with a assault cannon, 3 power fists. Sergeant has a power sword, and chain fist, of course, with all twin bolters, except for this guy. Now I'm going to show you the Sergeant while putting these to the side so it'll focus better. And I'm going to kneel down so I can look at the screen. This guy has a very nice pose, and actually I'm going to fix the lighting. There we go. That's a little better. This guy is very detailed. The way he's put together, there's no gaps. It quite literally, let me see if there's any filler areas. There are no filler areas on this model. So the way it gets parted together. He's got a nice combat style, you know, he has got a nice combat stance there. Looks like he's about ready to just swing his sword down and chop your head right off. And there's just so much detail, I just can't get over it. This is the main reason why one of the 2 main reasons why I'm keeping, well, I got so many reasons, who cares how many reasons I'm keeping these guys. It's just the Terminators are awesome. This guy here has the stance that I love. This stance. I call this the come at me bro stance. And I'm going to try to fix the lighting a little more. There we go. That's a little better. And he's got that come at me bro stance, and that's just awesome. He looks mean, fearsome, and he's not afraid to use his gun. Yet again, there's no real filler areas because of the molding. And I just realized what those little pieces are for, to fill in an extra hole. I did not know that from the first starter set. From the other starter set, Soldier Black Rates Termies. He's got a power fist, and of course he's got the assault cannon, which is beautiful. I can't wait to I'm gonna eventually get to painting these guys. I'm gonna show you the 2 duplicates. These are duplicates. They're they're just your basic Terminators. They have a nice studded power fist. A little mold line in there, I'll have to fix that. And a nice studded power fist, and a nice stance. And there's no filler areas on this model either. There is one where the purity seal is on the back of the rear, but it's not really noticeable. And you can just paint it up as armor. So I'm not really going to go on much about these 2. because they're just the basic duplicates. And then there's the guy with the chain fist. The guy with the chain fist has a striking stance. It looks like he's about to strike while holding his bolter up and firing. I have been tempted to get muzzle flashes for some of these guys from Armor Cast, just for the cinematic effect, because these guys look very cinematic and are just very, very. I love the poses, even in Dark Angels. And there's just so oodles and oodles of detail. You know, I might even have trouble painting all the details, and then I end up missing details. Now for the last unit, which are the bikers. Just gonna ride the bikers in here. The bikers, I think these are called Raven Wings, Raven Wing bikers, or I don't know. I know they're just Dark Angel bikers. Their poses are very dynamic as well. I'm going to put these two to the side and show you the Sergeant. The Sergeant doesn't have any special equipment other than him having a chainsaw, but I'm pretty sure he just gets that standard anyways. He's got the swerving, turning to the side, revving the chainsword, and pretty much about ready to lop some poor soldier's head off. And maybe even a few more. This just has decapitation written all over it. There's still a lot of detail. There's no filler areas other than, see if I can find any filler areas. The only filler area there is on the back of the wheel. You can see it there. There's no real line of separation. So painting that's going to be a little tricky and very delicate. You know, it's very easy to make a mistake back there. Excuse me. Got a little bit of heartburn. So I'm just gonna put this guy to the side. By the way, this Sergeant has the 2 wings. The rest of the bikes have 1 wing. Now I'm onto the plasma gun. Plasma gun has a leaning to the side and aiming the plasma gun with 1 hand stance. And yet again, no filler other than the back of the wheel, but still tons of detail in it, and everything flows. There's even a purity seal on the shoulder pad that's flowing backwards right here. You know, whoever did these models needs to get a big bonus. You know, they just need to pay him a lot of money just because of how awesome these are. Whoever did these models has some talent, and a lot of it. And these models are just, the quality of these is unexpected. And then the last one is just a normal biker. He's leaning to the side. Looks like it's a similar mold, or it looks like a similar mold to this guy. But, you know, the arms are completely different. Well, it looks like it was based off the same mold, but they changed details around, and you can't really notice off the bat. And now for the HQs. And the limited edition comes with 3, which is, from my knowledge, has not been seen in the starter set. I'm going to go from, I'm going to do the Chapter Master, then the Librarian, then the Chaplain. This is the Chapter Master, or Company Master. I'm just going to call him Chapter Master, because that's because I used to play Space Marines. He's got a very calm, collective stance, as if he's waiting for someone to come up close to him so he can hit him with this, looks like a claymore, or just a very big sword. There's still tons of detail. I love that they have, like, he still has his bolter slung, so, you know, he still has his bolter. He still has his bolt pistol and his you know, has the grenades, has all of his equipment on him. Let's give you a little 360. And now, the Librarian. I happen to really like this Librarian. Crap. I actually like this Librarian quite a bit. I love the stance. I actually feel like getting some wire and making it look like he's shooting lightning out of his hands. And yet again, there's just tons and tons of detail all over him. And I like that the psychic hood is wrapped around his hood. You know, that'll be very fun to paint. And it's even, and also, there's no filler at all on this guy. There's no filler areas. It's all, you know, it has depth. I'm looking at it, the only filler area I would see is absolutely none. There's no filler area on this model. You know, there's perfect separation all over it. And now for this guy. I know it's a little dark and there's a lot of shadows. If I angle the model this way, you can see it better. This guy is not pushed together, well, actually it's not pushed together at all. You actually have to glue it. This is the limited edition Chaplin. I personally like this model. It looks great. It is tricky to figure out how he goes on the base because there's a special imprint for his foot to place into, and that's the only glue point. There's another glue point, but I didn't glue him there, just to make it look just to make it cleaner. There's just tons of detail. I can't even count the detail. I can't even tell you how much detail there is. And you know, I'm speechless. So let me put these models back into place because I moved them around a little. Space Marines won't be in formation anymore, but I'm sure no one's going to mind. And get off of my phone. So that is a rough overview of the Dark Angels. I did have some trouble with lighting simply because there's been some storms running through and it's not as bright outside, so I can't get that, you know, fill the room with light kind of thing. But yeah, I like these models. I'm keeping them. I'm gonna keep these models for myself, and I'm going to eventually paint them up after I get, you know, I still have to collect some more paint. Because this is all the paint I have here. Those are all my paints. So I'm gonna need to get some more paints. So this is my rough review of the Dark Angels. My third video will be with it all together and what my opinion is. So this is KyleXSpy665 signing out. Bye bye.